What is word? A word is a unit of language that has meaning and is typically made up of one or more spoken sounds or written letters that are used to represent that meaning. It is a basic element of language and is used to convey thoughts, ideas, emotions, and information. The study of words is known as lexicology, and linguists and lexicographers analyze words and their meanings in different languages. They also study the history and evolution of words, as well as their usage and frequency in different contexts and cultures. There are several ways to categorize and classify words, depending on the criteria used. Below are some of the most common types of words. Nouns, words that refer to people, places, things, ideas, or concepts. They can be concrete, e.g. chair, dog, city, or abstract, e.g. love, freedom, democracy. Verbs, words that describe actions, events, or states of being. They can be transitive, requiring an object, or intransitive, not requiring an object, e.g. run, eat, think. Adjectives, words that modify or describe nouns or pronouns. They can describe qualities such as size, color, shape, or personality, e.g. big, blue, round, friendly. Adverbs, words that modify or describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. They can describe how an action is performed, how something appears or feels, or to what extent, e.g. quickly, beautifully, very. Pronouns, words that replace nouns or other pronouns. They can refer to people or things already mentioned or to people or things not yet mentioned, e.g. he, she, it, they. Prepositions, words that show the relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in a sentence. They typically express location, direction, time, or manner, e.g. in, on, at, with. Conjunctions, words that connect words, phrases, or clauses. They can be coordinating, e.g. and, or, but, or subordinating, e.g. although, because, if. Interjections, words that express strong emotions or reactions. They are often used in informal or spoken language, e.g. oh, wow, ouch. These types of words are commonly used in English and other languages, and they can be further subcategorized depending on different criteria. Nouns. There are several types of nouns in English. Some of the most common types include common nouns. These are nouns that refer to general or non-specific people, places, things, or ideas. For example, book, dog, or city. Proper nouns. These are nouns that refer to specific people, places, or things, and are typically capitalized. For example, New York City, John, or Disneyland. Concrete nouns. These are nouns that refer to physical objects or things that can be perceived through the senses. For example, table, chair, or apple. Abstract nouns. These are nouns that refer to ideas, concepts, or things that cannot be perceived through the senses. For example, love, happiness, or democracy. Countable nouns. These are nouns that can be counted, and they have both singular and plural forms. For example, book, singular, and books, plural. Uncountable nouns. These are nouns that cannot be counted, and they are typically used in the singular form. For example, water, bread, or information. Collective nouns. These are nouns that refer to a group of people or things, and they are typically used in the singular form. For example, team, family, or herd. Compound nouns. These are nouns that are made up of two or more words, and they can be written as one word, hyphenated, or separate words. For example, toothpaste, mother-in-law, or air conditioning. These are just a few examples of the types of nouns in English, and there may be other subcategories depending on different criteria. Verbs. There are several types of verbs in English, and they can be categorized based on different criteria. Here are some of the most common types. Action verbs. These are verbs that describe physical or mental actions, such as run, think, or laugh. Linking verbs. These are verbs that connect the subject of a sentence to a predicate noun or adjective, indicating a state of being or condition. Examples include is, are, was, were, and seem. Helping verbs. These are verbs that help to form verb tenses, such as have, had, do, does, and will. Modal verbs. These are verbs that express likelihood, ability, permission, or obligation. Examples include can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. Transitive verbs. These are verbs that require an object to complete their meaning. For example, in the sentence she ate an apple, ate is a transitive verb and an apple is its object. Intransitive verbs. These are verbs that do not require an object to complete their meaning. For example, in the sentence he slept for 8 hours, slept is an intransitive verb. Phrasal verbs. These are verbs that consist of a main verb and one or more particles, such as prepositions or adverbs. Examples include look up, turn off, or put on. These are just a few examples of the types of verbs in English, and there may be other subcategories depending on different criteria. Adjectives. There are several types of adjectives in English, and they can be categorized based on different criteria. Here are some of the most common types. Descriptive adjectives. These are adjectives that describe a quality or characteristic of a noun or pronoun. Examples include tall, red, and happy. Quantitative adjectives. These are adjectives that indicate the quantity or amount of a noun or pronoun. Examples include many, few, and several. Demonstrative adjectives. These are adjectives that indicate the proximity of a noun or pronoun to the speaker or the listener. Examples include this, that, these, and those. Possessive adjectives. These are adjectives that indicate ownership or possession of a noun or pronoun. Examples include my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. Interrogative adjectives. These are adjectives that are used to ask questions about a noun or pronoun. Examples include which, what, and whose. Indefinite adjectives. These are adjectives that are used to refer to a noun or pronoun in a nonspecific or general way. Examples include some, any, all, and no. These are just a few examples of the types of adjectives in English, and there may be other subcategories depending on different criteria. Adverbs. There are several types of adverbs in English, and they can be categorized based on different criteria. Here are some of the most common types. Adverbs of manner. These adverbs describe how an action is performed or how something happens. Examples include slowly, quickly, and carefully. Adverbs of time. These adverbs describe when an action occurs or how often it occurs. Examples include now, yesterday, and always. Adverbs of place. These adverbs describe where an action occurs or where something is located. Examples include here, there, and everywhere. Adverbs of frequency. These adverbs describe how often an action occurs. Examples include often, rarely, and usually. Adverbs of degree. These adverbs modify or intensify adjectives, other adverbs, or verbs. Examples include very, quite, and extremely. Adverbs of affirmation and negation. These adverbs indicate agreement or disagreement with a statement. Examples include certainly, yes, and no. Interrogative adverbs. These adverbs are used to ask questions about the manner, time, place, or reason of an action. Examples include how, when, where, and why. These are just a few examples of the types of adverbs in English, and there may be other subcategories depending on different criteria. Pronouns.